And this also gets to the point too. It's like, okay, I'm not suggesting this is why the Broward County sheriffs didn't go in. But I made the comment on a previous episode that this is a reason why you need to go to confession frequently, and always be in a state that you can see God right now if necessary. Is because if something like this, let's say you go down to the mall to, I don't know, buy a T-shirt or whatever, and some knucklehead decides now's the time to sing Allah Akbar and break out his AK-47 and do something. If the first thought that comes to mind is, I could charge the guy and probably stop loss of life, but I might lose my life in the process, but I need to go to confession.
Yep.
That's a problem.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem. And I'm with you. I doubt very seriously that was the primary consideration of the guys who were standing around outside of the school. But with regards to the argument that the kid had an AR-15 and the cops outside only had their sidearms, I don't give a shit if all you have is a damn rock. You run at him. You charge him. You do anything you can to stop him. You die trying. If you have a sidearm, there's no excuse. You should be shooting at him. You should be doing anything you can to distract him, to draw his fire. Oh no, that's standing around outside. And that's what they did at Columbine. I mean, you look at what happened at Columbine in 1999 there in what's that, Littleton? I think it's Littleton. And the SWAT team rolls in. The SWAT team rolls in and they stood around and outside and did nothing. Well, we have protocols for this. We can't enter if there's a risk of anybody getting hurt. I mean, that right there, that insanity. We can't risk going in if there's a risk that anyone's going to get hurt. While retard kid on psychotic meds is slaughtering heaven knows how many children inside of that school. It's all effeminacy, and the firearm thing, it just doesn't even matter. Well, it doesn't even matter. The only defense I would give in the case of Columbine is, if memory serves, I think that was the first major school shooting in the United States. So there were nobody had ever thought to concretely put into their procedures in standard responses what to do in the case of a school shooting. So for the SWAT team to say that, I kind of get it. I still think it's stupid, but I kind of get it. But I mean, what does SWAT stand for? It stands for Special Weapons and Tactics. Yes, I mean, don't you think that I think the thing that was unexpected about Columbine is that it was students. They had already had the well, maybe not. We'd have to look this up. Had they already had the thing in the school in Chechnya where the Muslim terrorists went in and killed all the children? I can't remember what the timeline on that is. I remember it was Beslan. I remember that Spetsnaz replied to it, and I remember a whole bunch of tactical details about it, but I don't remember the date. Well, I'm laughing because I have a massive interest in military special forces, so this is something I've read about several times, and I don't remember the dates. 2004. Okay. Well, and I was going to say that, I wasn't really in the military. I was in the Navy, and I was in it for a while. I was in a group. Yeah. You almost caught that one past me. Oh, goodness. Go ahead. All my fellow squids, you know what I'm talking about. But I was in a group for a while that wore camouflage and did things on shore. And one of the things that they taught us was, even if you are in an unarmed group, if you come across a situation where you're ambushed, the proper response is to charge the ambush, even if you don't have weapons, because first off, that's not what they're expecting. Secondly, even though the first person in line for charging may get mowed down, you're going to advance the possibility to overrun the lines for everyone behind you. That's one of the things. I mean, like I make the joke about myself, I wasn't really military, but for crying out loud, the Broward County deputies who just sat around doing nothing, what is your training? Yeah, that's another. You ought to be expecting, if necessary, if called upon. I mean, it's one of the things we do in Navy boot camp, for crying out loud, is that we have this, I forget the name of the day. There are so many different days in boot camp, but they have a specific meaning to it. But I seem to recall that we stood around and listened to Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA as part of this day. But it was the solemn acknowledgement that if called upon, we are signing a blank check up to and including our life, if called upon to defend this country. We will voluntarily lay down our life if that's what it requires to serve the country. What did these jabronis do down here in Broward County?